Hey, it's Evan from Grumpy's Greens, and today I'm just checking in on the heat mat, seeing how the seedlings are going. I just planted out my first little um, run of starts the other day, and it's been hovering around 0 degrees Celsius, maybe between -5 and +5 past few days. And these guys have been doing really well. Well, I don't know how they're doing under the soil, but the temperature is staying nice and consistent at around 15 to 20 degrees. It goes down a little bit at night, but I mean, that's just the way it is this time of year. It's not a heated greenhouse or anything, so there are going to be some fluctuations in temperature, but they will germinate. So it's only been a couple days, but you can see I've got a few trays laid out. These are all paper pots, and I've got the probe in here. This has been uncovered for a little bit, so the temperature may have dropped, but you can see it's still 15 degrees. I've got it set at 22 just so it caps at around there if it's sunny out. It is overcast today, so that's contributing to the lower temperature. Um, with a sunny day, I would be taking off this plastic and leaving it open all day. Right now, I'm just taking it off temporarily. You can see it's folded down here. I'm just going to be realigning these trays today so that um, they are all, so you can see right now they're all going uh, crossways like this. I'm going to realign them so they're going lengthways instead, because if you've checked out my other video on how I actually built this heat mat, um, you can do that right here, by the way. Um, the cable that's running underneath the mat, it's just an in-floor heating cable. That does not quite make it to the edges. So if you can imagine, there's an in-floor heating cable that winds back and forth like a snake. And again, you can get a better idea of this in the other video if you're willing to check it out. But it doesn't quite make it to the edges, so it stops right about here. And right now, when I put my hand on this, like this is nice and toasty right across. The heat does spread, especially when the soil is nice and moist. The heat does spread across. But at nighttime, when the temperature really dips, it relies more on that direct heat coming up from the cables through the mat, and these edges will cool down significantly more than the one like than the soil in the middle that's directly in contact with the cables. So what I'm going to do is that's the reason why I'm going to realign them so they take up more space in the center of the table, because the next couple nights we're going to be dipping down to about -15 degrees Celsius, which is quite cold, and I don't want them to basically, I just don't want to risk them freezing at all on the edges. It won't hurt anything. It'll just take them longer to germinate. So that's what I'm doing right now. And yeah, once these do germinate, I remove them from the heat mat table, and then I just move them over to like a regular table. One anywhere around here is fine, but just to get that initial germination. Um, yeah, I don't have like anywhere like in my house that's really appropriate for this for now. So this is how I do it. So yeah, I'm just gonna set this up so you can kind of watch what I'm doing and get a visual, and then we'll close it all up, and that'll be that. I usually like to put the probe somewhere near the edge again too, because again that's what's going to be the coldest. So I want to make sure these areas are where I set the temperature, not so much the center. I know the center is going to get there. It's the edges that I'm more concerned about. So that's where I usually put the probe, somewhere along the edge. I'm also keeping the trays as tight together as possible so that minimal heat is escaping between them, and it's actually hopefully going to spread across, hold the heat down. These have only been in here for 2 days, so nothing's going to be popping up yet, but I wouldn't be surprised if tomorrow we start to see some life. Okay, so yeah, these are just wire hoops inside of the that hold up the plastic, and then this is just some plain old vapor barrier. It's not UV treated or anything, but it's going on its 3rd season now, maybe 4th season actually of use, so it works. To pin it down, I'm just using some little clips, and I just make sure that they're nice and taut so that the tunnel above, or the poly here, is tight and snug against the frame so that as like a minimal amount of heat is escaping. Here's a better look at one of the clips. So I'm just using these little guys. They're like $1.50 each, maybe less. I don't know. It's hard to guess at prices on anything these days. They change so rapidly. Usually for the worst. So you will fold here, clip that down. And then I also take a plank of wood and just put that down at the far edge. If this had seedlings under here, I'd keep the plastic running, but it doesn't. So this just contains the heat and consolidates it where I want it. So like I said, I've got the block here, keeping it in tight. Again, that also keeps the plastic down, so a minimal amount of heat is escaping. You can see the clips. And then it's nice and tight along the edges, as tight as it can be at least. Alright, so that's it, and we'll keep an eye on this, check on it a few times. Usually check on it in the morning and at night this time of year. Not really much happening, but yeah, we should start to see some seedlings popping up here soon. So if you enjoyed this video at all, please hit that subscribe button, and we'll see you on the next one. Thanks a lot. Ciao.